Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Folks, there's been a big setback, huge setback for the Democrats with recent elections. In fact, the Democrats have a lot of soul searching to do because the win in Virginia offers a midterm roadmap for Republicans and a warning for Democrats. Here's the headline of an article on your screen from the Wall Street Journal. Youngkin's Virginia win offers midterm roadmap for the Republicans and a warning for Democrats. Welcome to our channel, everyone. Welcome to the Ignition Time channel, where I cover important matters pertaining to the country, the economy, as well as our money. In fact, the Republican Youngkin kept his base energized without tying himself closely to former President Trump, while his opponent faced a lot of Democratic infighting over the Biden agenda. In fact, the Republican victory in Virginia's race for governor, and by the way, at the time I'm recording this video, it's expected that the New Jersey governor will indeed squeak through, and that was not something the Democrats were expecting, that the governor of New Jersey, a Democrat, would squeak through. Again, that's happening at the time I'm recording this episode of Ignition Time. But the Republican victory in Virginia's race for governor and the Republican Party's unexpectedly strong showing in New Jersey is essentially giving the Republican hopes that they may have found new strategies for regaining control of the House and the Senate next year. And this leaves Democrats extremely concerned about a very dispirited and a very dispassionate voter base. In fact, the two races for governor, which have been the first major tests of voter opinion since President Biden's election, suggest that a lot of Americans, even in blue states, are frustrated with Democratic leadership and uneasy with some of the liberal policies that are being pushed by the Biden administration. So, what are the Republicans doing in the meantime? Let's take a look at House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, who said that the Republicans will soon unroll a Parents' Bill of Rights. And he said, "The one thing I will tell you is, Republicans, listen, we hear you." Let's roll the tape and hear from Kevin McCarthy. Let's watch.
One thing I will tell you is, Republicans, listen. We hear you. We know the places that we can improve, and we make this promise to you. We will soon unroll a Parents' Bill of Rights.
And folks, while that's happening and following the election results in Virginia and elsewhere, which I covered earlier in this episode of Ignition Time, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said that Republicans will continue to focus on education heading into the midterms. He said, I quote, "The Republican Party will be the party of education." Let's roll the tape and watch what the House Minority Leader, Republican Kevin McCarthy, had to say. Let's watch.
The issue of education is going to be a top priority, top issue that you're going to be talking about heading into the midterms?
Oh, I think education is always a top priority, but I think the one thing you will find is the Republican Party will be the party of education.
And folks, speaking of Republicans, here's a very colorful Republican, Senator John Kennedy. Senator John Kennedy is from Louisiana. He's actually a lawyer and a politician, and he's been the United States Senator from Louisiana since 2017. He's actually a Democrat that turned Republican, and he served as a Louisiana state treasurer from 2000 to 2017. Some pretty interesting comments from John Kennedy. Let's roll the tape and take a look at colorful comments from Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana. Let's watch.
Goat's milk latte drinking, avocado toast eating.
Life is hard, but it's harder when you're stupid.
Can I take cocaine with my spouse?
No, sir. No, sir.
I did not call Senator Sanders an ignorant slut.
I'm not talking about buying it, but let's suppose I came in one day and the cocaine was there.
People who are bilingual, they speak English and stupid. I don't know why we have to give money to countries that hate us. They should be able to hate us for free. Looks like we're giving Lindsay Lohan the keys to the minibar. President Biden is sort of like Kevin Bacon at the end of Animal House, the cantina bar scene out of Star Wars. They wanted it like Ben wants J-Lo. I'm like Bluto in Animal House. I'm just fat, drunk, and stupid. Frankly, I can't, because I can't get my head that far up my rear end. Stick it up their fact checker. They can kiss my ass. Somebody at the White House has been smoking the devil's lettuce. Okay? We cannot run the greatest economy by putting fairy dust and unicorn urine in our cars. Urinate to get off the pot. My car doesn't run off fairy dust. My car doesn't run off unicorn urine. The spending porn on pet projects, it's just chock full call a spending porn. There's an enormous amount of spending porn. Next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead, call a criminal, call a meth head. It must suck to be that dumb. I don't mean disrespect, but the mayor needs to take her meds. Christmas ornaments, drywall, and Jerry Epstein. Name 3 things that don't hang themselves.
And folks, speaking of colorful, Fox News' Peter Doocy actually asked President Biden about the nonsensical reporting that the White House was planning to provide $450,000 to undocumented migrant families separated at the border. President Biden simply called it garbage and said that that was not going to happen. Let's roll the tape and see what President Biden had to say about this unsubstantiated $450,000 to undocumented immigrant families separated at the border. President Biden dismissed it as garbage. Let's roll the tape and watch.
There were reports that were surfacing that your administration is planning to pay illegal immigrants who are separated from their families at the border up to $450,000 each, possibly $1 million per family. Do you think that that might incentivize more people to come over illegally?
If you guys keep sending that garbage out, yeah, but it's not true.
So this is a garbage report?
Yeah.
Okay, so
$450,000 per person. Is that what you're saying?
that was separated from a family member at the border under the last administration.
That's not going to happen.
And finally, folks, let's take a look at the one and only Congressman Tim Ryan, the Democrat. He's absolutely fired up about everything he stands for. Folks, I want to tell you, Tim Ryan is a very, very interesting politician and a very passionate politician. He is also a lawyer and a politician. And Tim Ryan is essentially representing Ohio's 13th congressional district since 2013. He's a Democrat and he's been in Congress since 2003. Let's roll the tape and take a look at extremely passionate comments from Congressman Tim Ryan, the Democrat. Let's roll the tape and watch.
We need two political parties in this country that are both living in reality, and you ain't one of them. 10% of the wealthiest people in this country own 90% of the stocks. A tax cut, finally, for working people, that's money in their pockets. What are we doing? Paid family leave. If you think for 1 second I'm going to apologize for what we're doing, you are wrong. Pharmaceuticals. Our seniors get their pharmaceuticals from China. We have people scaling the Capitol, hitting the Capitol Police with lead pipes across the head, and we can't get bipartisanship. What else has to happen in this country? We talk about pensions, you complain. We talk about the minimum wage increase, you complain. We talk about giving them the right to organize, you complain. But if we were passing a tax cut here, you'd be all getting in line to vote yes for it. Heaven forbid we pass something that's going to help the damn workers in the United States of America. Heaven forbid. Stop talking about Dr. Seuss and start working with us on behalf of the American workers. I yield back the balance of my time.
So there you have it, everybody. Colorful comments from Congressman Tim Ryan, from the one and only Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana. Interesting to know that he was a Democrat before he became a Republican. Of course, from the President of the United States. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Also, what you thought of Kevin McCarthy's comments. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. Please click like, please click subscribe, please enable notifications. I appreciate all the support that goes into this channel from our viewers and subscribers. All I ask of you is you please click like, please click subscribe, enable notifications. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Thank you. Bye.